Hasn't rained on us yet this morning. We're gonna head up, probably up that ridge. We were talking about that last night. Laura and Sydney might come partway up. Hard to tell what the weather's gonna do. If you look over here, there's some low cloud hanging around. Well, a little bit of cloud along the mountaintop. A little bit of cloud to the west, hanging around those mountains there. Oh, I love that. Look at those rock layers. If we don't get a rainstorm like yesterday, thunder and lightning, we'll be okay. But I'm gonna bring rain gear. So are they. They're not gonna come as far. And we'll just see what happens. Like the old saying goes, you don't know until you go. I have a real hard time with this packing water because it's extra weight. I usually just try to drink out of creeks. We're going up that mountain ridge and there's probably no water up there. Up to the clouds, and the clouds are gonna break my back.
Not the clouds, the hill. The hill's gonna take long enough, take it too long, and if it's too steep, it might break your back.
Well, I sure hope not. All right, I'm just like a camel now. I got water on my back. Cashy getting belly scratches?
Yeah. Okay, see, I know where your spot is.
All right. We're ready to rock. Tents. How would you like to camp in a tent in a rainstorm?
My tenting days are over.
Actually, what I do like is being able to go out on little excursions overnight.
Yeah, like we did on our trip. That was fun. We survived.
Go for a night or two in a tent, and then you get back to your RV, turn on the heater, have a shower, sit on the couch, watch TV. So Summit Peak Trail, 6.7 kilometers round trip to Upper Viewpoint. About 5 hours total. Viewpoint, 2,000 meters, 800 meters elevation gain. Anyway, to summarize that, it looks like it's 6.7 kilometers round trip, fairly steep incline, and about over 2,500 feet in elevation gain. Maybe meters, that would be probably 2,700 feet. Somewhere in there. Just a light rain, light drizzle right now, which is tolerable. If we get thunderstorms and heavy rain and wind, it's not so desirable. But we'll see how she goes. Wow, look at those.
Look at like the Indian paintbrushes, they're so pink.
They're really pink.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be orange.
Well, like red, kind of.
Let's check that out, Sydney. That's beautiful.
It's an Indian paintbrush, but I don't think it's from India. I think it's from...
It might be from Canada.
It's like green. We got it at Hearts.
Looks like we're coming to a creek bed here. See if there's any water in it. Love this country. Pine, kind of dry, grassy hillsides. Sedimentary rock up on the mountain. The bonus is right now, I mean, we could get heavy rain today. Hopefully we don't, but this is actually perfect hiking weather because it's cool and there's no bugs. Oh, just a small trickle of water in there. Nice clear water too. Looks like we got across. Well, I figured there might be this creek when I looked up here. Beautiful.
Happy. I love being free.
The disadvantage to the cool weather and no bugs might be that I can't see much because it's socking in up there. Oh well. Can't change the weather.
And you can't change how I am.
Well, we can't, but you can.
Mommy, can we go
You're
back
8
down
now. You can.
Yeah,
you're getting to the age where you can do some bigger hikes. But I know you want to go fishing today.
I know.
I just like fishing better.
I want to catch us some dinner. My handsome.
We'll see you in a while, Miss Sydney.
See you later.
Good hiking with you for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Go fishing and catch a grayling.
I know.
Yeah, I'll catch you a grayling for dinner tonight.
Perfect.
Because you're going to be gone till you come back for dinner.
Yep, probably.
Cash doing that. Whoa. And this song was like, zoom, 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 zoom.
Okay, let's go, Kashi.
We'll go.
Okay.
Always checks back there.
Yeah.
We love you.
Well, if he love you too. If he does end up with you, there's nothing I can do. I'll just keep going. Oh, I love it up here. As you can see, there's a beautiful canyon right there. Bunch of rock coming down, solid bedrock. I don't know if there's any water there. It almost seems like the creek that we crossed down there comes out, flows out of the ground down here. You'll notice some creeks will come out of a canyon and they'll dissipate into the ground as they go further downstream. Other ones won't run further up until you get heavy rain. And then they'll come out when it's drier like this, the water will come out of the ground down below. So there's no water up here, but water down below. Look at all those sedimentary layers over there in the mountains. Come on, Kashi. Good boy. This is exactly what this dog needs. Burn off some energy. I could see, out of respect for other people, having them on a leash in a campground or in a crowded area. But use your own discretion when you get up onto a trail like this, where you're likely not to see anybody or just a couple people. Let your dogs run free. They deserve it. Especially if they're high energy. It's just cruel to keep them cooped up. It's cruel to keep them on a leash all day too. I think Cash was just trying to backtrack on the trail there. Go check on Laura and Sydney, because I left them back there a kilometer or so. Dogs naturally want to do that, go back and check on everybody in the group. So I'm just trying to keep them up front here. Get them to stick with me. They're not too far from camp. They only came up the trail about 10 minutes or so. Look at all the greenery in here. Does look like bear country. We're just starting to break tree line here. And we are, just like that. You can see it right here. Alpine and bare. And from here down, it's all timber. Looks like the weather's kind of hanging out on the west side of these mountains. Obviously you must be coming in from the coast. You can see it's all rain over here. Weather system's coming in from that direction. And over here to the east, southeast, it's a little more clear, a little more light coming through the clouds. I guess weather could move in at any time. It's hard to tell, but mountain ranges are often a divider for weather systems. Wet on the windward side and dry on the leeward side. Nice valley going up here. Well, the weather from this morning I had when I had internet said rain continuing through 2 p.m. And then later on looks a little nicer. But we are kind of out in a remote area where the weather forecasting isn't that accurate, so who knows what'll happen. That could be totally wrong and we'll get soaked, end up in a windstorm with wind-driven rain or snow. Come on, let's go. Up, up, come on. He's trying to go back and get Laura and Sydney. He keeps going down the trail. Dogs are so good at checking on the whole crew. I think I got the horizon lock turned off on my GoPro now, so hopefully this works out where you can see the steepness of it a bit better. It's not super steep yet, but it just gives you a better perspective. It's actually not a very well traveled trail anymore. I'm surprised for how busy this route is along the Alcan highway. You can see right here, that's the trail right there. Not too beaten down, lots of grass growing. Kashi's way up there. Trail switchbacks up like this, up and over to there. Hi. The trail's starting to disappear on me here. There's Kashi, the old mountain dog. From what I can tell, the trail either goes this way or that way. Either way looks doable. Not too steep. Mountain top still way up there. Summit Mountain. Good name for a mountain. Interesting. I guess that's not the way. Somebody's built a little dam across there. It's supposed to indicate a little wall. They built a rock cairn up there. Indicate that's the direction we go. There's Summit Lake right down there. Our campground. You can see our trailer over on the right side, or sorry, left side of the campground. I'm not sure what that old building down there is. Just over there. Kind of a bluish colored building. I went right past it. Didn't see it from the highway. Maybe you can. Maybe I was just too focused on where the campground was and where the signs were. Anyway, climbing up, it's getting a little steeper. Just checking my All Trails app here. It looks like we're just passing through. You can see our track here. Dotted line is our trail. Blue line is our track. And we're just coming through the 1600 meter mark, which means we've gained about half of the elevation that we need to, because the top was about 2000, the bottom was about 1200, I believe. Look at this nice grassy plateau right here. What a beautiful spot to camp. Interesting, as remote as it feels out here, if you look down just to the left of the campground, you can see all the Alcan highway traffic. Tons of freight trucks too, fuel trucks. And this, you know, as far as the northern location goes, for how remote it is, there's a fair bit of traffic. If you compare it to any highway down in the south, you'd think there's very little traffic. But for how few people there are and how remote it is, there's a lot of traffic. Lots of tourism. For those of you that haven't traveled it, all the freight, everything goes up that highway. And it's definitely the more traveled highway of the two that lead up to the Yukon, NWT, and Alaska. But up here, you wouldn't think there's a highway that close. You look in the other direction, it looks like we're in a very remote area. Look at that. A little bit of quartz. Some quartz veins. You know what they say. Where there's quartz, there's gold. Look at that. I keep getting distracted by this. Definitely gaining some elevation now. Cool country. You got rock cairn with a ribbon there. And you climb, we climb, that's our route going up. We're gonna head up there. Quite rocky, but nothing too extreme. Another cairn up there, one there. Trail you can't really see on the ground too much where it goes. It's not really beaten in. Quite often that's the case in these Alpine areas, but you can definitely see the rock cairns. They aren't even really necessary. I mean, sometimes, come on Cash, sometimes in really steep country, if there's only one route down, they're good, but a lot of the time all you have to do is just follow the high point of land or the ridge. Even if you get into fog, as long as you don't have to scale cliffs down, you're probably pretty safe just following the ridge down if it's not too extreme a terrain. That's where we're headed. As you can see, there's not too much cloud up on the top of the mountain right now. Looking right up there. So I'm hoping we should be able to get a bit of a viewpoint from up there. In here, I have a old expired bar, chocolate chip bar. I think it's expired. I don't know how long it's been in there, but I'm gonna eat it. Because expired food is better than no food. I don't really pack much for lunch on these trips, just little snacks to give me a little energy. Keep it pretty simple. No, I know you want one too. If you're a dog, and you got more energy than I do. You're 51 years younger almost. Looks like we're going to be hiking up into the cloud. Time to saddle up and head on up. Yeah, just looking at the top here, still a little ways away. It's probably hard to tell. It may look closer than it is. But that there, I think might be a false summit. That might be the real summit, even though it doesn't really look any higher. Well, the clouds lifted a little bit again. You can definitely see around in a circle a bit better now. Behind me is the campsite down to the lake. And over here, those beautiful mountains with sedimentary rock. It appears that it's going to get quite steep here before the top, which it quite often does on mountaintops. Starting to see another slope of the mountain here now. Over here, you can see the highway running east towards Fort Nelson through the mountains there. And we are headed straight up here. Look at that rock. Interesting. It almost looks like obsidian, which is volcanic rock that I'm familiar with, but it's not quite shiny enough. It doesn't look like coal. It doesn't scrape off black on your fingers. It's a little too hard to be coal. Huh. If Laura was here, she'd be packing that down. I'm gonna leave it there. If I see it on the way down, maybe I'll throw it in my pack if I feel like it. But we still gotta go way up, and I'm not packing a pack full of heavy boulders up. As you guys can see, this whole thing here is a quartz slide. Goes all the way down the mountain. Oh, it's gotta be at least 100 yards long. Look what's in it. It's all quartz. Here's the first false summit, maybe the second false summit. Is that the real summit? If so, that's still a ways away. We've been going for about just under 2 hours now. I have been taking it slow, doing lots of filming. One thing I'm wondering about is, if you look over there, I know there's a lot of sheep up in this country. I've been kind of looking for them. You can see some lines kind of across that. And I'm wondering if those are from sheep. So we'll keep our eyes out. And for goats and sheep, I'm not sure if goats, I imagine they're here. See if I can show you guys any. As we carry on up, it keeps getting steeper and rockier up here. Ooh, look at that. Straight down. Look at all the campers. Fifth wheels coming up the highway down there. Yeah, we're getting up there now. I tell you, I am glad I brought this camel pack today. As you can see, we're heading right up this rocky trench here. Rock cairns right here. Wow. Would you look at that view? Onward and upward there, Kashi. Right up the ridge. See what we find up there. Now, I think I see something. Possibly a sheep. I don't have binoculars. It's kind of hard for me to see on the GoPro. So I think I'm pointing at the right spot. But yeah, he's kind of right at the top of that dark spot right there. Hanging out right by the little bluff there. I'm just scanning all these mountains out here. Just to see if I can see anything else. So it is a goat. I just zoomed in with my phone. Samsung S23 has a pretty good zoom on it. And he's a long ways away, so it's not a great clear picture, but you guys can see that there. Anyway, that's kind of cool. You guys got to see a goat. Maybe we'll see some more. I just checked my AllTrails app. It does appear that that is not the top right there. And that is actually, in fact, the top. So we're going to be going above that goat. We still got a ways to go yet. I better get moving. I don't know if you can tell from the steepness here. She's straight down there into the abyss in the cloud. Looking straight up here. This is kind of the angle we're heading up. It's not too steep yet. Come on, Keshi. We're really starting to lose visibility here. Look around the circle. Can't really see much. But one thing I gotta say is the weather's actually quite pleasant. There's no wind. Just a really super light drizzle. And we're hiking through some nice cloud, which is way better than hiking on a hot day in smoke like we've had the last little while. Look at this. Just getting back on a little razorback ridge. Gotta go down. It's just off a little ledge here where Kashi is there. This is real smart. Hanging on to the GoPro with a 4-foot stick. There we go. I believe we are getting close to the top of that first summit we could see. The false summit. Here it is here. I got a rock cairn on this one. Now, it does go down a little bit here. And I think the real summit is up ahead in the cloud. But I can't see it right now. I'm gonna have to check my map on my AllTrails app and figure out where exactly we're at here, since we're kind of flying IFR like airplanes do, instrument flight rules, where we're using instruments to navigate our way through the cloud. I'm starting to BS you quite a bit now. It's not really that big of a deal. Yeah, that dotted line goes to the actual real summit. So yeah, we got to go 10 or 20 meters down. You see the contour lines there? I don't know if you guys can see that, but we got to climb back up. But I think it's only like 50 meters up from the looks of it. So we're almost there. Let's carry on into the clag here. I'm hoping I can get you guys a view from the top. I was wondering about this today, but you know, as I came up into the cloud, I thought I may not see anything, but I still want to accomplish the goal of making the top. I don't know if you guys can see that back there, but you can see that ridge we came over right there, kind of hiding in the cloud. Isn't that cool? Dogs are amazing, you know. This guy here is just 8.5 months old. Look at how he knows the way. They're just naturals at it. That goat's gonna be somewhere down below us here in the cloud. It's always, I don't know if you guys have ever ran into goats hiking, but you know, I try not to scare them. I never really do, but it's interesting because goats are always used to going up into cliffs, extreme terrain. to get away from potential hazards. So when you end up above them, it's funny because they look at you and they're like, what do we do? This last little grunt to the top is something. I can feel it. Oh well. I wouldn't feel right if I only did the first summit and didn't hit the second summit, the real summit. What do you guys think? I want to take you to the top. I think I see a big rock cairn up there in the cloud. That's got to be the top. Look at that awesome view. Look at, we'll spin around in a circle here. Looking straight down in all directions. But you know what? We made the top. And I gotta say there's been very little wind. It could be really nasty up here. I mean, it could be like hurricane force winds and wind-driven rain. That could still happen. Maybe the weather report's wrong, but there's something to be said about how peaceful it is. Just staring off into the cloud. There's just little wisps of cloud going by. Light rain, a little bit of drizzle. We've been pretty lucky so far. Just a really light breeze here and there. But I'm gonna call it an awesome day with a good accomplishment. We still gotta make it down, but I'm glad we carried on to the top. There's our route up from the campsite. So we did 753 meters elevation gain. They said 800, so that's something like 2,700 feet elevation gain. 4.28 kilometers so far. 3 hours, 13 minutes. Now that's fairly reasonable. It was about 2 hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes up, something like that. I was taking my time, doing lots of filming. They said 3 hours up, so I think they're quite conservative when they give these estimates, just to make sure people don't overestimate themselves. But it is starting to rain a bit, so I think we're gonna start heading her down. I was gonna spend a little bit of time up here, but if there is weather coming, we better start heading down. Might stop and grab a bite to eat here if this calms down a bit. I almost forgot, before I leave, I gotta do my due diligence and add my rock to the cairn. It's actually raining more than it has most of the way up, but it held off until I reached the summit, which is great. I'd rather have it on the way down than the way up. They may have been wrong about the forecast, which is pretty normal for a spot this remote. They're calling for the weather to start breaking around 2 p.m. It's now about 3. And it's actually doing the opposite. It's getting worse. There's Cashy down there in the fog waiting for me. Like, this dog has been a handful at 8 months old on this trip. But I gotta tell you, this hike, having him out here where he can burn energy off, he's just awesome. I'm so glad to have him out today. He's just a natural. Wipe that lens off. It's still raining, but I can see down a ways there. And looking up, there's a bit of a bright spot in the sky. I'm hopeful. Well, that is interesting. I just tried flying the drone and it took off, but it gives me this high altitude fly with caution. I flew it up to about 30 feet above the ridge and I couldn't fly it. It wouldn't fly. It just wanted to land. It was giving me this warning. And it just went into a landing mode and I canceled it once. And I kind of got into place, managed to, you know, kind of walk over to it so it wouldn't crash into the rocks. And it came down quite aggressively into my hands. Like I caught it, but it was like aggressive. Like it was coming down fast. So I guess I won't be flying the drone here. Anyway, I think I was gonna grab a bite to eat. Nora gave me some peanuts. That's about all I got left. I think I'm gonna try to get up over this false summit here and get down a little lower out of this weather. Fresh goat droppings. Probably from that goat we saw today. Looking down into the abyss, that's all rock right there. I wouldn't want to walk across that, it's going to be pretty slippery. And it just goes straight down from there, probably 1,000 feet. Just gonna eat some peanuts here for some energy. Gotta shell them, so it's not the fastest way to get energy, but Cassie here loves the shells. Check out these switchbacks. Straight down over there. Well, I'm getting close to probably the halfway down point. Yeah, to the west where the weather's coming from, it's definitely brightening up. Campground, you can see again. Couldn't see it for the last couple hours, really. Too much for cloud in the way. We were flagged right in for a while there. You know what I want to do is I want to bring a side-by-side to this country and show you guys that. Because looking over here, there's a road that goes up beside the campsite and heads way over there. You can see it going way off above the lake and up into the mountains over there. I want to know what that's all about. We got to come back. You guys see this? It's starting to open up over here. Starting to see a little more contour and color to the mountains. Yeah, there's all kinds of trails in this country on the map. One trail further to the west that I got to check out. Yeah, it'd be great to bring our Polaris Ranger back into this country. There's that road I showed you there. There's another one over there going up the hill. I think there's more to the west or east going up that way. It's pretty cool country. Here's a great view of Summit Lake and our campsite. Right down on the left-hand side, you can see our trailer. It's the bigger one there. And then you can see Summit Lake all the way along there. Kind of made a mistake here. I should have put the boat in. I didn't even. It's a reasonably small lake. I wasn't even thinking about fishing because it's kind of an alpine lake, and went and parked the trailer and got it all set up and backed in. And then the camp contractor told me there's actually grayling and trout and all that in that lake, and you can run up to 9.9 motors in there. So by the time we backed into the campsite, got set up, we couldn't get the boat out of the back, and it's a few hundred yards to lug it over to the lake. So I think we'll probably just wait. I mean, Laura and Sydney are trying some fishing today. I hope they have some luck, but I think I'll just wait until we get to Muncho Lake and Kiniscan Lake. Hopefully we hit those lakes up on our way back. See if we can get you guys some fish. Wonder what this chunk of wood's doing way up here. Oh, look at that. Edie M. LaFleur, 1949-2017. It's like a memorial. Just over the next peak with a middle finger. Some flowers, and then Travis LaFleur, something the 2023. I don't know where it even was. Like, I don't see a signpost or anything like that. Maybe it was mounted on one of these rocks, but it's just laying here. And I don't know if it got knocked off by wind or weather or somebody. I don't think somebody would have knocked it off, but I can't tell where it's even supposed to go. Look at that bedrock down there. Isn't that cool? Great big boulder, and that's all bedrock in the creek bed. Well, look at that. There's home sweet home. Right there. Hello, mister. Are you waiting for me? You guys see that water? It just has that look of being so clear. Well, I'm just getting the leash back on this guy. We're only about less than 200 yards from the road and the campsite. I gotta say, that was an awesome day. It was just beautiful conditions. Cool. The cloud didn't upset me at all. The fact that we couldn't see too much. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to heading back to the campsite, having a beer, sitting around the fire possibly, and just taking her easy and enjoying life. Home sweet home. I got back here, I had in mind that I was going to have that beer, that cold beer, the last one I had. Got back here, I must have drank it last night. Oh well, it'll have to be vodka. Laura and Sydney just went outside to have a fire, and I said no because I was getting tired. Just about ready for a bed, but I think I'm going to go outside and split some wood and make a fire and surprise them. Isn't it kind of late for a fire?
No.
No?
People sometimes have fires at midnight.
Look at that, Sydney. We got a fire going with like pretty much 50% wet wood.
It's pretty good.
The bacon grease.
Oh, you cheated with bacon grease.
Jason always cheats
Coming
with
from the guy that uses
Jason
gas.
always cheats with the blowtorch.
Gas is not cheating.
Coming
Bacon
from the guy
grease
that
is...
chucked my gas can in the fire. This is probably not the best kind of food to feed a dog,
Because
but
he might get the zoom.
you kind of look like a marshmallow. Yeah, that's true. Are you gonna get sugar high? Oh, you got it! Good boy!
Good boy! You did it!
He just inhaled some.
Kashi.
One more. That's it. Oh, it closed.
Oh, he was close.
Kashi, you're gonna get diarrhea.
You're gonna poop out a marshmallow.
Well, we couldn't fit our whole Northern Rockies adventure into one episode, so stay tuned for our next one. We'll take you farther up the Alcan Highway into one of the most beautiful places in British Columbia. Thanks for watching.